What's going on, party people? It's Philip, also known as Zawie Online, and I'm back for another video for you here today. And this one's going to have a couple of topics that are a little bit more taboo. So if you're sensitive to certain topics such as sex, and even more if you're sensitive to topics regarding sexual assault or anything similar to that, including incest, this is kind of like your trigger warning that there's going to be a couple of topics discussed in this video that pertain to those. I put in a little notification right here. So if you see this image in the top right corner of your, or top left corner of your screen, this is your trigger warning. So when you're mousing through the video, if you see this up here, that means that the current discussion is about those taboo things that if you're sensitive to, please skip them or just watch them with discretion. Now let's just jump right in, okay? So this is going to be a bit of a longer one. I wanted to talk about a couple of topics today regarding some current events that I've noticed. The video game we're going to be talking about is The Coffin of Andy and Leyley. And it's a fun looking game with a clear artistic vision. It's well received and critically acclaimed for having a different and dark story that it's not generic. It has easy to solve puzzles and it keeps you with little tidbits that may not be story relevant, but it's fun overall and enjoyable. Overall fun and creative single dev passion project. Now, recently, the developer has handed the game over to Kit9 Studio in order to work on the project behind metaphorical closed doors because they were doxxed, or they were potentially being doxxed. Now, what does this have to do with the game itself, and why is the developer being targeted by certain degenerates online? Now, there was a lot of controversy, especially on taking place on Twitter regarding one of the game's alternative endings regarding an incest scene. Now, taken out of context, it really looks like the characters have sex, and they are brother and sister, but they are also both 22 and 20. They're of age, and they have in what looks like consensual sex. Now, the primary Twitter outrage mostly consisted of, people saying that we shouldn't be pushing this sort of taboo on people. We shouldn't be normalizing this. And for the most part, I totally agree. But taking the scene out of context, that is taking the scene out of context, I guess I could see where they're coming from. But the scene in context is actually completely different. And we'll get to that in just a moment. Now, there was before I talk about that, I want to talk about some absolutely deplorable behavior regarding someone's privacy and safety. Hey guys, I just wanted to step in here. I know you guys are used to my one and done style where I just kind of riff everything in one go, but I just need to talk about this for a moment because I think this is actually genuinely sad. I found this pre-devlog announcement. Obviously I didn't see this before I started recording earlier, but I found this while I'm editing, and I just wanted to talk about it because in here it says that the developer has decided to permanently and completely terminate their activities online from here on. The best way to show your support is by focusing on the discussions towards the game and not the developer. They wish to be left alone. And obviously I'm making this video about the developer, and I've been cutting a lot out after reading this, and I just want you guys to know that I'm making this as a way to shine light on this treatment of this developer. And I don't think it's right, no matter what your viewpoint is on what happens in the game or the story itself. I think that no developer should be shamed out of creating video games, especially if it's not anything that's harming anyone physically or is not hate speech of any kind. Now, obviously, there's outrage on Twitter. There's always going to be outrage on Twitter about whatever you talk about. You could literally say, you like apples, and there will be a discussion about it on Twitter, and it's always deplorable. But now, away from this Twitter spectacle, we're looking at actual real-life consequences for people who have a certain opinion of the game or its developer, who was allegedly attacked due to rumors about their supposed transsexuality. Now, I don't know exactly how true this is, but it is deplorable regardless of the situation. There was an image board that I'm not going to name in this video because firstly, I don't want to be harassed. Secondly, I don't want to give them any more exposure, and I don't want anybody who watches this video to potentially join them in their degeneracy on their website. I think you're better off just going and doing something else with your life. I think it's actually just genuinely sad shit that they're doing over there. All their personal information on this image board, and they're doing everything they can in their power to dox this person. Now, obviously, that's not the case. All of those rumors are false. However, the damage was done. He stepped down from working on this project altogether. Even if you look on Steam, it says Kit9 Studio. If you look online, Kit9 Studio is the developers who are taking over the rest of the development of the game. What I hope is that it is still on the development team, and I hope that they are still able to bring their vision forward, and in the future, they were not going to be treated this way. What's the thing that got the game, quote, canceled? And I think that that taboo is sex and media. Now, why is sex and media, and what parts of them are normal? I think the parts that are normal are your generic run-of-the-mill. You have two characters in, say, a horror film or a comedy that they partake in consensual sexual activity, and it usually plays into a joke or plays into a scene that may be like the dominoes of a certain event. Sex being taboo, and how can we use sex to show evil in a character? Now, this is actually related to what I'm going to be talking about in the video game here. Just bear with me here, okay? Now, like I said, being taboo doesn't always mean being bad. However, you have certain instances like show Breaking Bad, which the main character is Walter White, and a lot of people, you see online, people idolize Walter White, and people say, like, Walter White, Jesse Pinkman, they're my favorite characters. However, people, I guess, neglect to mention, or it's just because it's part of this taboo discussion, is the part where he nearly died and blew up an office building. He immediately uses this as a sort of power trip on his wife, and it can make you feel overwhelmed. It can make you feel gross for watching it. And that's exactly why they put it in the show. Walter White partakes in this sexual intercourse that's not completely consensual, and the first time you watch it, you just feel gross, you feel nasty. The second time you watch it, you'll skip it, and the third time, if you forget, you'll start getting it. It's like, oh my god, I gotta skip this scene. Now, another thing to consider in the game is they actually do not have incestual sex. It is not something that is happening in the story. However, from what I was able to gather, they were given a vision of themselves partaking in incestual sex, but as the characters wake up and respond, it is very clear that it was not consensual incestual sex, that it was actually a vision planted into their minds that they both experienced at the same time. And when they wake up, Andy is taken aback. He's appalled. He's embarrassed. He's showing all the signs somebody should show whenever they're being presented with themselves doing a deplorable act. And now Leyley does not respond in the same way, and I'm gonna get to why. Leyley does not immediately reject it. She sort of takes it as an easy jab at her brother. She's like, oh, well, if you're thinking about it, you must be, this vision must have come from somewhere. And he immediately rejects it. He blows up at her, like, what are you talking about? There's no way we would stoop that low. And she uses it to gaslight her brother into potentially thinking that he wants it. Now, it's not because she wants it. It's actually because she is a morally damaged character. She's a morally bad character. It is in the art of the game that not only is she bad, she is very, very bad. She is not a good person. She gaslights her brother into almost conceding into the idea that maybe it's not such a bad thing. And that's where you as a player actually get to decide. You play as Leyley in this scenario where he asks, it may not actually be that bad. Like, what if do you think we're actually going to get down there? All because he's being gaslit. And even if you pick the option, like, it could happen, he immediately rejects to it and brings up the fact that she might just be insecure. You're not downplaying this. You're doing what you're doing because you're actually insecure about your relationships, which that is a flaw of the character that he is pointing out, which he may be guilty of himself, which is part of the seesaw action with this scene, but it's gross, and it definitely makes you feel like it's not right. And obviously, there's going to be people in the community that ship them and they love this scene and this is their scene, this is what they want, this is fan service, but I do not think personally that it fits under the category of fan service. I definitely think that this is like something that the creator intended to make you feel gross, because when I watched it, now I haven't played the game, but I did watch the entire scene in its entirety and then came back later to watch it again for this recording. I definitely do not feel like that was the intent. And I think that the characters do a good job of, playing devil's advocate, where Andy's obviously rejecting the entire idea and Leyley will use it to mask her insecurities. And I think it keeps you disconnected from that being a good thing. My previous example with Walter White might make you feel the same way, especially if you're not a degenerate who is shipping two siblings in a video game. Now let's answer the question here. Why was this game canceled and not the others? You also have examples like Scott Cawthorn and FNAF, Five Nights at Freddy's. Now let me just go on to say it. Everybody knows what I'm thinking here. Toby Fox, Scott Cawthorn have nothing to do with their communities. And time again, I've been told in my life, and I know you, if you're watching this video, you're either a fan of those two games or you've been told, hey, you can still enjoy the game without being part of the community. If you do not like the Undertale community, you can still enjoy the game. Or ignore the FNAF community, enjoy the games, enjoy the story. Now, this isn't the same standard we're holding for this video game developer. It has its niche demographic, but that doesn't mean that they should be subject to online harassment, doxing, and potential swatting and potential physical harm or especially mental harm if they're willing to drop their entire project. I think this is something crazy that I think people should be more outspoken about. Dox, this should never come down to that. There should never be anybody who creates content online, especially if it's not hurting anybody. It's artistic freedom. It's an artistic liberty to create a video game and have taboos in it that help tell the story. This is an alternative ending. You have to search for it, and it still holds true to the character. It's not fan service. The characters react to the situation the way the characters were written and how they would consistently react. We all look forward to the new Toby Fox game when it's in full release. We got Deltarune over the horizon here, and is Deltarune gonna release, and then all of a sudden Toby Fox is gonna be doxxed and death threats sent to them, and they're gonna have to go through a third-party developer to create their games in the future? No, that should not be anywhere close to the industry standard, and I think that there should be more people talking about what's happening. Now, obviously, there was some serious topics in this video, and I appreciate you guys for sticking around to the end here. I don't have much else for you regarding to the topic at hand. Those are just my thoughts, the general idea of what happened. Really hope the things I said were easy to digest. I hope that you guys are able to come out of this a little more informed and possibly a little more informed as well as entertained, and I appreciate you guys for sticking around. Now, my Twitch streams are almost every day. I post about them in my Discord as well as I tweet them on Twitter, so follow me on Twitch or my social medias to be found out about these kinds of things. But if you want to be in a potential video, I'm going to be using comments and stuff, and Discord and all these things. I just love engaging with my community, and I always have. Even before I started making videos a little more consistent, I definitely did all of this on Twitch. I love involving my community, and I'm going to do my best to involve the YouTube community here. So your comments have been delightful. I love the things you guys have to say. Even if you disagree with me, do not be afraid to voice your opinion. And if you would like me to reply, there's a chance that I will. I really appreciate you guys a lot. You guys have seriously given me a big boost of motivation that maybe this is something I should try to do a little bit more often, and I really enjoy it. This is something I genuinely enjoy, and if you don't know, I recently quit my job, so income has been a little flatlined for me, but I was fortunate enough to become an affiliate with Yodeland. So if you would like to at least check out, I have a advertisement coming up right after I'm done speaking here, so this video is going to end with a quick, it's not even like a full minute advertisement that I recorded the other day, and it's goofy, it's fun, and if you guys are interested in THC type products, do click the link and just browse, and things are selling out. But if you use my link or my discount code, which is PhilZ15, you do get a discount, and that is the way that I get paid as well. So if you use the discount at your checkout, you get a discount and I get paid. I think it's a win-win for my community. If you're into that kind of stuff, if you're not, that's okay, no big deal. I appreciate you guys regardless for sticking out to the end. Subscribe if you want to. I will see you guys next time. Peace out. Hey you. Yeah, you. You tired of smoking sketchy kush? Do you want some niche gamer streamer to be your plug? Well, you're in luck, because I am now an affiliate of Yodi Gang. I'm now affiliate of Yodeland, so check out my link in the description or use code PhilZ15. That's PHILZ 15 at checkout for a discount on Yodeland products. If you've ever wanted to get faded in a hoe,
Like your favorite YouTuber, Fulcrum, now's the time. Click the link in the description down below and support your favorite niche streamer. Philip out.